I am very happy to welcome you all. Namaskar. I am very happy to welcome you all in the IIF webinar series. This is one of the seminars which we are going to hold. It is going to be held again as there has been a tremendous demand. Given the cybersecurity threats, we have kept the limitation of number of participants in this particular meeting, and hence we have sent the invites accordingly. We are going to hold about 3 or 4 sessions or maybe more depending on the availability of the time of Professor Vohra, and accordingly we will host the meeting again later on. Let me just brief you. We have been taking care of all the requirements which have been mentioned by the Ministry of Home Affairs to keep webinars safe and sound for everybody, given the fact that there have been bombings in webinars, including Zoom bombing, which has taken place in various forums. So given that, we have tried to keep everything under control, and I hope we don't have similar incidences. And in any case, we are only having people who are registered participants here. We may have someone who may bypass the rule, and for that specific purpose, we have kept the audios and videos to be muted. There is a cyber guy who is keeping a tab on anyone who is trying to unmute himself or put the video unmuted. We will automatically have no option but to remove him from the room, and he will not be able to get in. So it is requested to every participant to kindly keep their videos off and audios off. We will have a question answer session. We have this session from 4 to 6. All those participants who are going to have registered and wanted participation certificates, they will be issued participation certificates within a span of 2 to 3 days once the seminar is done. And it will be issued to people who have stayed here till the end of the conference. So please note that this is expected to be about 2 hours presentation, about an hour by Professor Vohra, and given that he has had always a very important points and very important discussion, we have seen the fact that there are a large number of questions and answers, and as a result, we have kept about an hour for that as well. So I will be passing on the mic to Professor Vohra in another minute or so, and he will be on the spotlight. But just to brief, you have already read about him in the notification. We are talking about today the India's power of confidence to tackle Chinese coronavirus. My dear friends, I was working with the World Bank way back in 2000, 2001, and in Washington, D.C. I left the World Bank job and came back to serve my country, India, way back 2001, 2002, and I have been serving here since then. I am very happy and very proud of the fact that India has been doing tremendously well, and I am very happy to welcome, because Professor Vohra is not only the fact that he is an honorary professor with us, but he is my mentor. I always look upon him and he guides me. A person with a lot of humility, a lot of human touch, and has always been apt in terms of putting things right. He doesn't fear anyone. He has been not only ambassador of India to a large number of countries. He has served the army, Indian Army as well for a short while. He has been the former ambassador of India to Armenia, to Georgia, to South Sudan, to Poland, and Lithuania. And it is not only this, he has been a TV personality. He has been coming on television. Large number of people for ages have known him and have cherished his face. That includes my mother as well, who has cherished his presence, despite the fact that they studied together in Delhi School of Economics, along with my father, who was in Delhi School of Economics long back. Professor Vohra has been advising large number of governments, including Government of India within the country. He is also formally on the advisory board as a special advisor to the Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council, Leh and Kargil. He is also the special advisor, not only in India but outside, to the Prime Minister of Lesotho, which is in Africa, and Prime Minister of Guinea-Bissau in Africa again. He is also advisor to the government of South Sudan, and he has brought them out of problems multiple times in the last decade or more. At least for last decade or so, I have been hearing about the kind of problems they have been facing, and they treat him like God, as a messenger of God. In fact, he will give his quote on what they say, but I thought I should share with you this brief introduction, and we are now going to hand over the mic to him, and so that he can begin his presentation the way he likes, and I'm going to pass on the mic in a second. As I said again, there will be question answers at the end. I will open the floor for everybody. I will bring people up and their audios and videos would be turned on. But for the whole meeting, please keep your videos and audio off. Otherwise, the administration who is taking care of the cybersecurity here would throw you off the room. Thank you very much. And I pass it my thing to Professor Vohra now.
Thank you very much. Professor Aman, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Professor Aman, thank you for that very gracious introduction. It's a privilege to be associated with the world-famous Indian Institute of Finance. All the nice things you said well, but thank you for not mentioning, which is also in my official biodata, that many years ago, I tried to act in Bollywood films and flopped miserably. Thank you for not mentioning that. Friends, we're going to spend the next 25 minutes or so in a PowerPoint presentation. I hope you can see it on your screens, where we will be taking a look at, or answering some of the basic questions that are puzzling many people around the world. Why has India been able to deal with the Chinese virus better possibly than any other middle income or low income or rich country? Why? So we'll try and answer that question. We'll begin with the slideshow. Occasionally, I may look away from the camera, I may look down, and I'll also wear my glasses. I'm getting old, so that I'm able to see my notes. Here we go then. Shall we start, Professor Aman?
Please go ahead, sir. As I said, let me just repeat the topic. India's power of confidence to tackle Chinese coronavirus. Professor Deepak Vohra.
Thank you. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The future is now. Now, the world beyond 2020. Sab log ye yaad rakhenge, and I'll switch between English and Hindi. How come we are dealing with this better? Because as Prime Minister said, it's now a people-driven battle. Do you know the initial deaths? In fact, to date, the most deaths are people who are old, white, and rich. Those who die from the Chinese virus. Half of the world has gone to the IMF, the World Bank, and to their donors asking for bailouts. We haven't. Over 60 countries have sought medicines from us, have sought advice from us, have sought relief. And by the way, we have the lowest morbidity rate of a country our size. Here it is. Take a look. The world average per million population is 30. US is 155. Belgium, 568. Italy, 425. China, please don't trust their figures. They claim it's 4, but it's probably not true. India is 0.6. How come? Okay, not enough testing, etc. I'm talking of deaths, not about testing. Our world today is, really, I call myself an observe analyst, much better and stronger than it has been ever before. For example, 90% of the world has electricity, 90% of the world's children have been vaccinated. 1/3 of all kids born after 2011 will reach their 100th birthday, and less than 10% of people live in extreme poverty. I'm sorry, the slideshow has gone off, but we are back again. Less than 10% live in extreme poverty. Sorry for the spelling mistake. Yet, when the Chinese virus attacks, the strongest militaries, the strongest economies, they flounder. Let me take you back 30 years ago. In a Chinese virus type of situation, we would have been begging for help. Now, the world looks on us with admiration and appreciation. What does the US president say? We will not forget India's help. The world appreciates the power of our example. What are we doing? And how are we doing it? This is the power of India's confidence. You don't need to be a weatherman to understand the direction of the wind. Look, I'm an observe analyst. Let me give you a little bit about when I was born in 1951. Yes, next year I'll turn 70. When I was born, 98% of Indians had never been to school. 99% lived in abject poverty. Women's empowerment, happy birthday. Less than 1% of women were employed in the organized sector. They were suppressed everywhere. And then we had this fatalism and, lack of self-confidence. Whenever we had a crisis, and I remember 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, we would rush to others for help. But by the time I die, we would have eliminated extreme poverty. We would have eliminated illiteracy. We would have moved ahead on gender equality, and we would have become much more self-confident, for I see the change. Sons and daughters of India, my message to you, please do not be excessively pessimistic, because that pessimism does not empower you. It paralyzes you. It makes you feel hopeless and helpless. Now, एक आपको कुछ मैं cartoons दिखाना चाहता हूँ from various magazines. This is The Economist many years ago. Shows the then British Prime Minister David Cameron bowing before the then Indian Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and Mrs. Gandhi sitting together like king and queen. The British Prime Minister saying, please give my country some money. We have no money. Here's another one. Invest in Bavaria. Bavaria is in Germany, not in India.